Hey guys, so today is the 9th of June. Not quite at the halfway stage, so we're a third of the way through the month and another green day. So it certainly didn't look like it was going to be a green day to start off with. We took a trade with AERC again. So our stock of the moment, the darling of the moment, and it didn't go well for us. We lost. It was about $7,000. Then we took another trade with Jan 1. What we took a trade with, and we lost $1,000. That was kind of just down to the stop. See, it went against us, and we cut our stop at the right time. We tried again with Aeroclean. We lost as much again, so we were, at that stage about 11,000 in the hole, and we tried Jan 1 again and lost again another $1,000. So this stage we were kind of $14,000 in the hole. We did trade one stock, which was AUVI, so AUVI. So it was another. It's Applied UV is the company, Applied UV Incorporated, and it was gapping up on a similar catalyst to Aeroclean. It was ultraviolet sanitation device. So it wasn't quite FDA approval, but it was a similar catalyst. So I was expecting bigger things. It didn't quite motor the way that Aeroclean did on Monday or Tuesday or at all this week for that matter. So we only managed to get $350 on that. However, getting a little bit despondent, and if I look at the market maps as to why I was it was difficult to trade today. I mean, this is essentially the market map, and as you can see, pretty much everything was down. It was a massive sell-off across the whole day today. Massive sell-off. Everything was red. Everything was red. So not an ideal situation to find yourself in, and certainly not an ideal situation to try and trade to the long side. Certainly there were opportunities, and we managed to get green across the later in the day. We did trade our clean. So we were $11,000 down at one stage. We traded it again, and then later in the day, it made a move to the upside, which we were able to get on that and get green. And we did get green on Aeroclean. We also traded AMC, so it was a lovely little setup, a flat top setup with a inverse head and shoulders beneath it. So it was setting up for a really good breakout. I picked the profit target, and which was a $0.50 range, and we rolled that up and made some profits on AMC as well. So we finished the day green. It does put us in a good position. It does put us in a good position for June as a whole. If I look at June as a whole and where we're actually at with June, June is quite good shape. Was it now 7 trading days in? A third of the week month in, so 7 trading days in, and trade profit we've racked up over $100,000. So this will be over. I think we racked up another 4,000 today, so that's another good 3,500. Another good profit to add to that. That's trade profit. That's not net profit. We've just broken $100,000, I think, on net profit as well. But what I want to highlight here is the $18,000 daily gain that we've had. That's not normal. Even for somebody that's experienced and consistently profitable, it's not normal to be racking up those kind of gains. So long may it continue. Don't get me wrong. I'll take what I can get, but $18,000 to $20,000 days are exceptional. So June's looking great. Our overall profit ratios, our accuracy is 3-to-1, which is great. So 73% of our trades that we take are winners, and only 26% are 27% losers. And the risk reward ratios are really good as well. So it's even better than 2-to-1 in terms of our average trade size. The average winning trade is more than double our average losing trade. Our profit factor is a whopping 7.01 profit factor. So when you factor that in compared to what we were doing last month in May, it's made May look absolutely ridiculous. We're kind of back in the game, so to speak. So yeah, I mean, whilst today it wasn't as easy as the other days that we were trading this week, the fact that we have now been 12 days in a row profitable, if we go 13 days in a row profitable, i.e. if we finish the week green as a whole, 5 green days in a row on the week, that will equal the green streak that I have for 2022. The longest green streak I've had this year so far is 13 days, and we can equal that tomorrow with another green day tomorrow. So I'm sure you're dying to find out if that's if it is a green day tomorrow as we go into the weekend. So I will be going live 90 minutes before the market open. So make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. You'll get notified just as I'm going live, and hit the notification bell as well, so that it'll send you a message every time I upload a video as well. The thumbs up button, it helps with the YouTube algorithm. The subscription just helps with my ego. So get hitting those buttons, smash those thumbs up buttons. I'm going to show you some of the trades that we took today. A bit of a summary of what happened, and enjoy. First trade we took today was with AUVI, which was Applied UV Ink. The reason this was moving up was it was a very similar catalyst to AeroClean. It was down to a ultraviolet sterilization device that had been announced. So I was expecting big things from it. Didn't quite get the moves that we expect, as I was talking about earlier. And we got this initial pump. We were having conversations in the chat room on the Discord in particular, and one of the students, Day Trade with Tony students, mentioned that this was moving. So I took a quick look at it, and yes, it was moving. And as always, we don't jump in for the move up. We don't chase the action. We wait for the first pullback and then confirmation. There's actually a couple of stocks moving. One was moving this morning that did a similar sort of thing, but then didn't move back up after the pullback. It just pumped and then dumped. Now this one moved up, and then we got in for on this particular first pullback, and we moved it up. We had 5,000 shares, so we moved up and we took profits at the top end, and we were out on the way back down. So that was a good start. We did trade it again a little bit later after the bell, where it did what I like to call a dip and rip. Initial dip after the bell, and then it ripped up, and again we waited for the pullback, and we got in and we entered here. We actually doubled our positions because we put 2,500 shares in the entry. It moved up, then we got a bit of a pullback. We added to our position, and then as it moved up, we took some profits. Then when it started to pull back, first candle to make a new low is where we exited, and that was just done with Applied UV. Our next trade was with Jan 1. Now, Jan 1, we traded this pre-market as well, and we also traded this after the bell in the open market. Both times it went against us. So the first time we traded Jan 1, it made the move up, and as it started to pull back, we looked to get in for looking for effectively a flag setup. As it pulled back, next candle to make a new high for the move back up, and we got in here, and it didn't move very high at all. So we entered at 465. It moved up to 468. And then pulled back again, and we had 5,000 shares. We lost 20 cents on that. We put a stop at 20 cents. Well, we didn't put a stop. We exited at 20 cents, and that was $1,000 loss. We Did try to trade this again a little bit later. So as we moved in, we were trading other things around here, but we made this move up to the top, and then we got this big flush down. And because we were moving up, and it's a big sell-off, unloading size, if you will. So I was looking, okay, maybe we'll get a bounce. So let's look for the next candle to make a high. And we entered for the next candle to make a high, and it didn't move up. It actually went against us, and we lost another 20 cents. So, you know, what are you going to do? 2,000 down on Jan 1. I look at my applied UV entries. I look at my Jan 1 entries. The entries weren't that bad at this stage. I don't think the entries were that. I don't consider the entries were that bad. The action just went against us. So the next thing we traded was AERC again. And we didn't trade this pre-market, but we did trade it pretty much. It's probably the first one we traded out of the blocks in terms of after the bell. And we waited for the first candle to make a new high and give us a little bit of an opening range, if you will, that first couple of minutes. And then we got in for the move up, new highs on the 2-minute, and we got in for 10,000 shares. So we entered for 10,000 shares on the way up, and we took some profits. Then we added at the top. We added, and it pulled back. So we quickly exited our position and waited for another chance to get in. So as it pulled all the way back, we looked for next candle to make a new high for a move up. We were looking to break $10. That's what we were wanting, a break of $10. So we got the next candle to make a new high, which was here. So we entered, and it pulled back, and we got stopped out again. Okay, try it again. It bounced on the VWAP. Okay, next time we'll set our stop below the VWAP instead, just in case. Give it a little bit more room to run. Next candle to make a new high. So we entered here for the move up, looking for the move up to $10. It then pulled all the way back. I thought, okay, no, it'll bounce on the VWAP, and we'll go again, and we'll try again. That's not a problem. So it went all the way down. In fact, it flushed and it went below $9. I'm thinking, okay, well, hang on a minute. Why did we not put a physical stop at the VWAP? We should have put a stop at the VWAP. I know what we'll do. This will get eaten back up. It's been very strong stock. Committed a cardinal sin. What do you not do from a losing position? You don't buy the dip. The only time you buy the dip, it's a risky strategy, but the only time you buy the dip is when you've already got a cushion. You've got some unrealized gains on the ticker already. You've got a cushion on the ticker. You don't buy the dip from a losing position, because if it goes against you, you dig a bigger hole. What did I do? I decided to buy the dip, and it moved back up. I thought, okay, here we go. It was rejected at the VWAP and then came back down. So I exited, next candle to make a new low. And at this stage, we're quite considerable. We've lost about $7,000 at this stage across the number of entries that we've taken. I'm thinking, okay, we're not going to do that again. What we'll do is we're getting a bit of, as we start to look, we want some confirmation. We want a move up, pull back, then next candle to make a new high. So that's where we got in. Next candle to make a new high was effectively this doji here. We got in, we took some profit, so we have made a little bit back of what we'd already lost. And as it moved back up, we looked for the break of $10. I thought, okay, it's pulled back a little bit. We're going to break $10. So I'm going to add for the position. I'm going to add to the position as we break $10. So and as we broke $10, I went in with big size. I added big size, another 20. I think it was 10,000, making it 20,000 in total on the position. So we're in big size here, and it moved up. Didn't even get to 10.10. Flushed all the way back down again. And what did I do? I added to the position for the move back up to 10 and the retest of 10. And it went against us. So I committed the same cardinal sin twice in a row. And as it broke the VWAP, we exited the position. And we were at that stage about $11,000 down on the day. We took one more trade here as we looking for the break of new highs. We try and make it back up, pull back to the VWAP, and then on this one we entered as it broke a new high. It went up and then came back down again, and we didn't give this any big room. We just kind of got it just under break even on that one, so it was not going in our favor, shall we say. And as a result, we finished. We were about 11,500 down on AeroClean. What we did trade profitably was AMC, and AMC. I'll show you the thinking behind AMC was that discussing it in the chat room, and you can see there's a nice cup and handle here, ready for the move up. Also got a flat top. So we've got a flat top there at 35, high of this, and we've got the resistance here. There's an argument to say that this is a bit of a double bottom, a W. It's a flaky argument, but there's an argument to say that it is a double bottom, and there's a lot of bullish sentiment, if you will, a lot of bullish signals going on here. And we're talking in the chat room, and I'm looking at AMC on one of my other charts on the 2-minute time frame. I'm discussing it with one of the day trade with Tony students. I'm saying, look, this is what we're looking at. You've got 1335. You've got the cup and handle setup. You've got the double bottom setup. You've got so many bullish setups here. You've got the flat top. You've got the ascending wedge into the flat top. There's so many bullish setups, so many patterns. It's only going to break one way at all. Now, granted, we've got the green line and we've got the $half resistance levels. Normally, without those resistance levels there, you're probably looking at 1370, given the size of the cup there. So I was saying that be conservative, take profits at 1350. And then I'm thinking, I'm telling this guy how to trade this. Why don't I trade it myself? So I put a stop in. A stop buy order at 1336 and 10,000 shares, and we went up there all the way up to 1350. Took profit at the top, didn't quite break green, and as it started coming back down, we exited the position. So we took 5,000 shares off on the way up for the break of the $half. Didn't quite do it, so when it started to pull back, we exited the other half. And that was, a little over $1,000 in profit on AMC. So nice, clean trade. Now we're still in the hole. We're still in the hole at this stage. We're still, in the red to the tune of five figures actually. We're still in the red to the tune of 5 figures at this stage. I'm thinking, okay, well, AeroClean's not playing ball with me today. It was. Trying to teach me a lesson. It was teasing me, but trying to teach me a lesson. It'd been very good all day. So I took the dog for a walk. We went out, clean our head. I like to, after an hour of the market, I like to just take a break, clear my head, come back, reassess the market and see what else is moving. Maybe a little bit more stable movements that we can jump on the back of. And we went back to AeroClean. So this time AeroClean was good to us. We came back and we just seen that we've been out for about an hour at this stage. Came back, sat down, and thought, okay, I want to have a look at AeroClean. I want to see, can I make some of the losses back from what it given? Because is it going to behave in a similar volatile way as it has done the previous days this week? Is there any way that I can get my money back? Alternatively, is there anything else moving? So came back and it had been selling off. Let's go back and it had been selling off. So it had made this double bottom. And that's a very bullish pattern. It's moving up at this stage. And I'm kind of thinking, it's ready to break out. And I'm looking at what kind of, what's it going to give us? What's it going to give us? Maybe it'll give us probably 30, maybe 40 cents on the move up after it breaks the green line. We do have the VWAP in the way, but maybe if it breaks the green line, the way this has behaved, how bullishly it's behaved over the last couple of days. So I entered the position. I entered for 10,000 shares as it broke the green line, came back, and then as it moved back up and broke it again, I thought bullish, so we entered the position, and we entered for 10,000 shares. Moved up to the VWAP, rejected, came back down. Not worried about that. It's kind of break even at this moment in time. We're a little under break even as it pulled all the way back down here, but we're not even past our stop. So we've got a stop in mind, and our stop was actually 905, but because we were giving it 20 cents, so it moved up again. This time it broke the VWAP before being rejected again. Didn't get to our stop. It kind of flirted with 910, but didn't get to our stop. Moved up again. I'm thinking this is really coiling. It's looking very strong. I'm going to add to the position on the next move. As it started to move up again, I added 10,000 shares, and we're in for 20,000 shares at this stage, and it moved down. So I was supposed to get out at 905, and I held. And I think it went down as far as 902. It went down as far as, and I held it. I didn't cut the position at 905. Like I said, I thought, okay, hold dollar. And again, this is a classic case of changing your trade plan mid-trade, accommodating the trade mid-trade. And it's not ideal, but it worked for me yesterday, and it worked for me again today. So I decided $9, whole dollar cut off, even though it was a little bit lower than what I anticipated to start off with it. And this time it moved up. It moved up a little bit. It took a couple of attempts to actually break the green line before then moving up. And as it moved up, we took profits at the VWAP. And then as it moved up again, we took profits for the break of the half dollar. It did pull back, and we were still in at this stage. I think we still had 5,000 shares in at this stage, and it moved up again. So we added another 5,000 shares as that broke the half dollar, and it moved up again. We added and subtracted, so effectively locking in gains for the break of the whole dollar. And then we put a trailing stop in place, and we rode it all the way up. We added another $5,000, another 5,000 shares at 1075, and we continued to ride it up. We got all the way up to the half dollar before we took some more profits. Took a bit more off the share size. And then as it moved up, it then came back, and we exited the position at the half dollar again. So we didn't get the full move. We didn't get the judge the top correctly, but we actually exited at the half dollar. That was a good trade. Not only did it take us to about $3,000 green on the ticker itself, it actually took us to about $2,000 green on the day. But we weren't done. We weren't done. So we saw that as it pulled back and then moved up, and we started to get this flat top from around 1335. Didn't trade that. It pulled away back again, and then we started to get this ascending wedge. I've got an ascending wedge here, so I was talking about this ascending wedge from down here all the way up, ascending support. We've got the flat top, and just to be safe, as it moved up and pulled back, I was calling it out in the chat room. I was like, okay, we've got an ascending wedge on AeroClean, flat top at 1150. I'm setting my my entry at 1153. I don't want to get faked out, so I set my entry at 1153. I put a market stop buy, and that was my mistake. I put a market stop buy instead of a stop limit buy, and a market stop buy, as it broke 1150 here. Of course, I wanted to fill at 1153. I wouldn't have minded a bit of slippage, 5, 6, or even 7 cents, and getting filled at 1160. I got filled at 1183. That's a 30-cent slippage. I was not happy. I was most annoyed. Now, we did get a bit of a run. We got another 10 cents on top of that. So I was able to take profit up at the top. And that counted for the rest of our profits on the day. And I was just so annoyed that I'd lost 30 cents of that move. It could have been a 40-cent move. We're in for 10,000 shares. So what effectively was, it turned out it was $1,000 gain. It could have been a $4,000 gain. It could have been so much better. Or it should have been so much better had I not had the slippage. If I'd put a limit buy order in place, I probably would have got filled. But unfortunately, I didn't. And if I hadn't been so angry and annoyed with myself and typing in the chat room how annoyed I was about this slippage, I probably would have taken another trade here for the break of highs. And I'm so glad I didn't, because as it broke $12, the break of the whole dollar, break of new highs, looking very bullish, and it flushed back down again. And also, you've got this inverse head and shoulders looking very bullish as well. So it would have been adding that back up. Of course, there's an argument to say that's a double top, and I'm not going to go into that. There's some contrary arguments there, but it did flush back down, and I'm glad I wasn't in that. And we were green on the day. We did trade it one more time. We got the rest of the gains. It wasn't a huge gain. We did get one more trade out of it. We went away, had some dinner, got the pizza ordered, and had some dinner. Came back, so I'm sitting back at my desk, ready for getting the stream ready for live streaming on Power Hour for the last hour of the market, and we see this move up. It was a nice move up. We're getting good volume at the bottom. It was a nice move up. So I'm thinking, okay, don't chase it. Don't be giving the gains back. It's took you pretty much all day to get to where you are. Don't be giving them back. Look for a safe entry. We got this pullback. Nice, clean entry as we moved up. And I took 5,000 shares as we moved up, and I took profit up at the top. Took profit for up at the top for the break of 1160. And that was it. That was the end of the trading day. We 2,500 shares at the top. As it started to pull back, we exited. That was the end of the trading day for me. I did stream live, didn't take any trades in Power Hour, and I'm glad I didn't, because it just kind of sold off into the close. There was nothing else really looking attractive for Power Hour, but the state that the overall market was in and how the whole overall market was selling off, that hardly comes as a surprise. So, quick recap. The TDLR for today's summary is that we went heavily red, and it took us all day to incrementally trade our way back green. However, trading our way back green, half of our profits are being given back to my broker and to the market makers in terms of transaction fees and commissions, etc. So what is a $3,500 day is really only an $1,800 day in the grand scheme of things. Still a green day, still a good day. It's green to four figures, a fantastic day. I'm just a little bit disappointed in some of the signals. Maybe I could have read better. I'm kind of being hypercritical of myself. I think the entries were good. It's just they went against us. Maybe I didn't take profits soon enough. Maybe I held on to the losers too long. I don't know. I've had a good week, and I'm being hypercritical on my trading today. It's a profitable day, and we've come from quite a big hole, and we've traded our way out of it. So with that, I should be happy. I'm being very critical of my own performance. Tomorrow is another day. I will be a little bit more cautious. Back to basics tomorrow. Back to trying to get to base hits as opposed to swinging for the fences from the off. If I end up with a good runner, if I end up with a parabolic mover, then I'll scale into it, like I did with AERC a couple of days ago, like I did with a few others over the last couple of weeks. That's the way to trade. So that's what I'll be doing. Just because I've got a big equity position, just because I'm over $100,000 worth of equity to trade, doesn't mean I should be giving that back to the market. Come join me live tomorrow. Let's see how I do. Am I going to equal this year's hottest streak? Who knows? We'll find out tomorrow. I'll see you there.